Welcome to the Angel Empowerment Show from I Can't to I Can with your host, Cindy Smith, and co-hosts. In this show, airing every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, gain more insight and practical, intuitive tools to bring more clarity and purpose into your daily life. You can listen or be involved in live professional angel card readings on transformationtalkradio.com so you can heal, thrive, and grow in your life. And you'll experience it all with 4 of the best in the field. The Angel Empowerment Show starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Oh, I get a tickle in my throat right off the bat. Interesting. That's not good.
Excitement.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the Angel Empowerment Show on Transformational Talk Radio. Sam and I are very excited about this topic because tonight we are talking about the power of thought and manifesting, and with a little side of quantum physics, because that is definitely something that Sam loves to talk about. And so, first of all, just know that for the first half of the show, Sam and I are going to be sharing our beliefs around the power of thought and quantum physics. And then the last half hour of the show, that's when we will do live angel card pulls. So you could either call into the show, 1-800-930-2819, or on all the social media platforms on Transformational Talk Radio, just type into the chat your name and location, and Lydia, our producer, will let us know that you'd like an angel card pull. So that being said, I'm going to I'm going to get Sam talking right off the bat, because she's really going to introduce us to why the power of thought and quantum physics is so dear to our heart.
Yeah.
And so, Sam, I'm going to let you run with it. Way you go.
Okie dokie. So, as you've known from previous shows, I'm a little bit of a geek, and I was always a little bit of a skeptic until I met, when I met Cindy as well. And when I found out the connection between quantum physics and spirituality, that whole concept of science meeting spirituality, it was like, oh my goodness, this makes totally so much sense to me. So the challenge is always to explain quantum physics, because usually people look at quantum physics, it's like, oh my goodness, back to school. But trying to explain quantum physics in a way that my clients and Cindy's clients and our students actually understand and can relate it to every day. So one of the things that we need to understand is that quantum physicists have actually taken physical matter. So those are things that we can actually see and feel, and they've observed them underneath a microscope. Now, not just a microscope, imagine a microscope that zooms everything down to its smallest, tiniest quantum part. So the smaller they go, they see atoms and protons and neutrons, and then they see quarks and electrons, and eventually they just see waves. Just, in other words, physical matter actually arises from non-physical wave energy. So most of us learned in school, at least I did, what an atom looks like. It has a nucleus and it has electrons that orbit around it. And well, that really is a very much what we call a Newtonian model, or the old scientific model of the atom. And it really is actually incorrect because of this wave energy that physicists have noticed. So the quantum model basically explains that electrons exist in an invisible cloud of energy around that nucleus, not actual particles. However, when they did an experiment, and some of you may have heard of this, it's called the observer effect. This showed that when an observer actually focuses their attention on any one location of that energy field, that energy cloud, the electrons appear there. So if there is no observer, so nobody is actually looking, then the electron returns to being non-physical energy spread across the whole energy field. The conclusion is that our focused thought causes wave energy to condense there and become matter. So this proves a link between thought and matter. So just like how an atom's nucleus is surrounded by a non-physical electron cloud, all of us are surrounded by a non-physical field of infinite energy. And of course, those of us in spiritual, groups, we understand this. We understand this idea of everything around us being energy. But quantum physics actually calls that the quantum field. And just like how an electron manifests out of that energy cloud, all of our physical universe manifests out of that quantum field. So then you start to think about, the power of our thought, manifestation, using visualization. So imagine that our thoughts are electric, our emotions are magnetic, and together they make an electromagnetic field around our body. And then our electromagnetic field is always communicating with the quantum field. Your thoughts, your emotions right now, they're all manifesting your current reality. I know, I love it.
This is her science brain definitely stepping up to the plate.
Right? So Cindy will now make more sense of that to our listeners.
Well, it's so I have neuro-linguistic programming background, from years ago. And one of the theories and themes that always get perception is projection. So, and it's basically what you perceive is what you project, but it's also what you perceive is what you create. So it's even perception of an object. So I could know this to be oval shape because, I'm touching it, I'm looking at it. But what if somebody else perceives this to be a square? Mm-hmm. So, and they project it as a square, that's what they're going to see. Even though when I hang on to it and it's there, it's so energetically what we perceive within ourselves, we also project it. And I mean, there's so much theory and backing around perception as projection. And the reason that Sam and I love this, science proves to us these things that in the spiritual world and in the NLP world that we've been saying for years, that there's backing to what we believe in. Of course, perception is projection. And I think I'm just going to share something that popped into, I remember my, one of my instructors years ago when they were teaching about perception as projection. If you think of somebody and you think of them in a certain way, so let's say there's a family member or a good friend of yours, and they have a certain belief about something, and when you think of them, you say, no, I'm not even going to share my belief around it because they would never believe it, or they're never going to change, or how could they ever accept my theory or what I believe. If we keep projecting on somebody that there's no possibility of change, it's like putting them in a box, an energy box. And we're basically projecting on to them that they'll never change, because then we perceive it that way. Even if they do change in some way, we are still going to perceive the non-change because that is what we are projecting. So it gets quite complex at times, but really simplicity of it is all. If you really want things to change around you, if you really want to manifest, it starts with yourself. It truly starts with you, because it's what you perceive it to be, and then you project out. And, I mean, there's so many examples that I can give with this, but Sam and I, we teach a 1-day workshop. It's called Seeking the Truth. It's where spirituality and science meets. And we really explore with you to really break down what is your perception? What are the beliefs? Sam has models that she shows and really brings it right down to the core of what she just kind of explained in a 5-6 minute
in an electron.
Yeah, right. So the big thing is I always give gratitude to Louise Hay. So if we step outside of talking about the quantum field and we think of the power of thought, I always give gratitude to Louise Hay because she really brought the power of thought into the forefront. I don't remember any of her little books talking about quantum physics, but I do always remember is, what you focus on, you create, which is really the quantum field theory, just as Sam just explained, but in a different way. So if anybody's, Louise Hay is in the white light now, but I mean, she created look at what she created, because they have Hay House and, all that she has created, but it really, her focus was the thought that counts. And then, even healing with the body and thoughts. So, she was the forefront that really started the world to really take a look at power of thought. I don't know, Sam, what do you want to add?
I mean, I love that idea about the electromagnetic field around us, and that really translates to me now as being our aura. So we've talked before about how we project our aura and how we can feel others within a room and tune into those auras. But one of the things that the quantum physics says is that if we actually change that field by changing our thoughts and our emotions, then we will actually attract a new reality from the quantum field. And that really ends up being the law of attraction. So putting it into simple form is that if I came on here and I'm feeling really angry and I'm putting out and projecting, that I'm shouting or I'm disagreeable, blah, 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 then that's going to end up becoming my reality. It's going to elicit a reaction from other people who are listening, or with Cindy, you and I, with our conversation, or if we were in a room together, you would be thinking, whoa, I can feel that aura and I'm not liking what I'm feeling. So we can actually change what's around us by projecting our thoughts and our feelings. And that really is our, the law of attraction. What we put out there is what we attract and we bring to us. And that is basically, in a nutshell, manifestation. That actually allows manifestation to occur. And just sort of for Cindy, to maybe you can expand on this a little bit, but I always think that there are like 4 steps to manifesting. We have to be really specific in what you want to manifest. And that's when you say about your neurolinguistic and you're asking, and then, feeling right now, what would I feel if I already had what I'm trying to manifest? If I already have that joy, and I already have that love, how am I going to feel? I'm going to feel loved and I'm going to feel joyful. So I'm going to be projecting that out there. The third thing is maintaining that state of elevated emotions. So you and I have spoken about, raising our vibe, keeping our vibe there. How can we keep ourselves in that state that we want to attract what we want to manifest in our life? And then, of course, the 4th thing is waiting for the surprise and waiting for it to happen. So,
right. And and we said that. So there's some of the tools that I use too, because I understand the power of thought, and I say this over and over again. Because when you think of the quantum field, when we think of our aura, and it's right here, and it holds our emotions, it holds our thoughts, and it's what we're projecting. So when I catch myself, this is the best way I can share with everybody. When I catch myself when having a lower vibration thought, that's the best way. A negative thought, I'm oh my gosh, that's never going to happen, or it makes no difference what that negative thought is. But when I catch myself, the first thing that I do is I ask to cancel, clear, delete. And so what I'm asking my angels, to step at, clear the thought, get it out of my aura, get it out of anything that I would project. So it's just like clear, boom, gone. It's away from us. It's gone. It isn't in my quantum field anymore. It's completely exchanged. And then I come in and I think I'll instantly start recreating positive. And the easiest way, I'm just asking to give me an example for my angels to remind me. It could be as simple as, I don't know, I can't even think of a negative thing my mind went blank. It's almost like keep your vibe up. You can't allow your vibe to drop on the show. So it's like,
I know. So, okay, I can help. How about I got an examination coming up, a written test.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so if somebody that's a prime example. I didn't study enough. I don't think I'm prepared. You start to put that self-doubt, that questioning, oh, I failed this before. There's no way I'm ready. So what you're doing is you're really projecting out. Before you even get there, you're projecting that you're going to fail it, that you're not ready for it. And so it's changing instantly. I just caught myself with that self-doubt, and change it up, cancel, clear, delete, and then start talking and how you would talk to yourself in a positive way. I got this. Yeah. I feel what it's like to pass the exam. I feel the joy. I can see myself with the mark, like 98%, whatever you basically get rid of what you were experiencing and you replace it. And then that's what you project. And that's what's in the quantum field. It's already like you're manifesting in that moment of time, the opposite you were just thinking and feeling, because those two work together. The feelings are tied to that quantum field also. Right, Sam? Because that's part of the observing. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. You're spot on. Yeah.
Okay. I'm making sure that geeky side I'm following your geeky side, Sam. We gotta have fun doing this, right?
Oh, we have lots of fun.
Yes, we do. So think aura, in the energy world, we're always talking about aura. And we've had several shows in our past podcasts where we're talking about children and how sensitive they are. Yeah. Well, they have such a higher vibration aura that can really read other auras and picks up energy. And again, that's because they have less filters to project out there. In that sense, they're more open to receive within their quantum field. Okay, so that's another reason why children are more likely to be more sensitive. Yes, as adults, we can be definitely sensitive, but they've got less filters because they have less projections. Okay, so everyone, if that makes sense, they perceive the world to be, we'd like all children to perceive the world as a good place to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Constant sprinkles.
Yes, we'd love that to be for all children. but they do, their perceptions and projections are different as a child, and so they're more sensitive, more open, and can be hurt and feel things way stronger than we do as adults.
And
because of that.
I think of that as part of my coaching as well, and part of my own story is that, you know, from childhood and growing up, I ended up being the people pleaser. I was the yes person. I would do anything to get, you know, praise or appreciation. And I was always trying so hard to be something that I wasn't. And ended up really just losing myself underneath all of these layers of conditions that had been, you know, life had dealt me. And that ended up being, you know, by the time I went to my first International Angel Day, I started to realize that I needed to make some changes. But I was a pretty damn miserable madam. I really was. And I never thought that anything good was ever going to happen to me. And I projected that. And of course, I got myself into so many different scrapes in my teens and my early adulthood. You know, I just attracted it. I see that now. But now people say to me, oh my goodness, your smile is so big. I was always told never to smile, you know, but you're smiling, you're always smiling, you're always so happy. And, you know, my life has just turned around, and I have manifested my partner, you know, relationships. I think that is one of the biggest things that people ask me. How do I attract my ideal partner into my life? You know, it all begins with, you know, this and the tools that the angels give us to actually become, you know, happier, with a higher vibration, wanting to experience joy, looking at the glass being half full, not half empty all the time, you know, that optimism. And I know that we're going to discuss this in a little bit more detail, but our health, believing that our health is good, you know, and owning our health and being positive about it. There's so much that we can actually manifest beyond just a pot of gold.
Yes. And, you know, yeah, this is, it's such a big topic around power of thought. That's Sam and I decided this is part 1. And next week, next Monday, it'll be Sam and I again. And we're going to do part 2 with manifesting the power of thought and healing. And we're going to dive even deeper in around healing ourselves and working with the angels in that part of it. But, you know, it's back to the basics. It's really back to the basics in the power of thought. There's been so much different theories and studies, and why can one person attract so much amazing and positive experiences and the other person is unable to? And so it's, you know, or has a period of time when everything's going great and then everything goes sideways. And like even Sam referred to, you know, now people see her as that happy person. It's because she projects it out and people perceive it. They see her as the happy person with the smile on her face and experience in life. And so we go, you know, the biggest piece is the power of thought and healing that goes along. So whatever we can do on our journey to shift what we project out to the world, then it allows other people to project the positive back to us. So by Sam saying, you know, I was told I wasn't to smile for whatever reason that was. And so she would have taken that as definitely projected onto her as a negative thing. And so she would have fulfilled that and would have stopped smiling. Whereas as an adult and stepping into her own personal power and wanting to be perceived differently. Yeah. I mean, I love the pictures that I see on Facebook and Instagram and you coming up and it's from when I first met you, even to think about where you're at now. My goodness, woman, you amaze me sometimes, because when you think about it, I mean, we've known each other probably how many years now?
I don't know. No, but it's been good.
But, and this is, just remember, everyone, this isn't us saying that you've projected all the negative in your world. It's just that when things can happen around us too that we have no control over, like other people's stuff that happens and where they're at and what's going. So please no thinking that we're saying everything in your world is negative, has been created by you. What we're saying, though, is you have the opportunity to start to change and empower self. And it really can go right down to the atom. It can go right down to the perception, starting the fact that you think it can change. Yeah. If you believe, and I'm big on beliefs. If you believe there's no way that life can change, it won't. Because that's what you're projecting out. That's what you're projecting out in the world. That's what you're getting back. Right? I feel like I'm getting all energy on my soapbox. Because we are going to go to break, and anyway, Sam, just quickly, and one of our somebody that's watching, and thank you, Michelle, for asking this question. It is January 29th. I know it's a few months away, but everybody put it in your calendar. January 29th is when Sam and I are going to be teaching the workshop, Seeking Your Truth, where science meets spirituality. It's a whole day with the two of us. And it's you get to explore and work with what you're projecting, what your perceptions are. So we love teaching that class. So Sam, quickly before break, because we're going on a break, remember everyone to call us at 1-800-930-2819 or put your name and location in the chat. We'll give you an angel card pull. Sam, how does everybody reach you? What is your website?
It's simple. It's Sam Bell Inspired, because I like to inspire and I love to be inspired by others. So sambellinspired.com is my website, and you can find me as @SamBellInspired across social media.
Okay, we'll see you in a couple minutes, everybody. We'll be right back. We'll have our decks ready, and we're ready to do some card pulls.
All right.
We are back.
We are.
Okay. So, that when we start talking about perception and projection and quantum physics and all of that, like that time just went zoom. Like Sam and I are like, how did that 25 minutes disappear so fast? Part of it really is, to our listeners, it is something that Sam and I are very passionate about, is the power of thought. And, we've been living it and knowing how it works and how our thoughts can really get in our way. For anybody out there that know that you have that self-doubt come up, I really, really encourage you to start really paying attention to what you're saying to yourself. And so when you catch yourself, it's never going to change. It's never going to get better. I hate my job. My life is not good. All of those things that you are saying to yourself, you're actually projecting.
Yeah.
And, so one of the first steps is to be aware of what you're projecting out to the world, so that you can start to make change with it. And I say, basically what I said years ago, I said to Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel, because he's the communication archangel, but I said, let me be aware, like really bring it to my audio, so my thoughts, when I am doing that, creating the self-doubt, the negative self-talk, because we all kind of, I think we all do it at some point.
Yeah,
so I asked him to make it awareness there, so I could do the cancel, clear, delete, and change it. So, because I truly believe that positive energy can completely wipe out negative.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Sam? You want to add to that before we start pulling cards?
The only thing that I would say is, having been a skeptic, I started reading all of the self-help books and, looking at self-care and even now I just have to look at my Facebook page and it's all about gratitude and stopping the negative self-talk. Everything that we're talking about, Cindy, it's that, but we actually, with what we're doing, is we actually explain the why behind of all of that. And that is what I needed for me to really have that understanding and really be able to put it into action in my life. And that's what I love about angel empowerment. I just wanted to add that, because the information is out there and it's always presented in so many different ways. But when it actually comes down to the core essentials, it's exactly what angel empowerment teaches us and explains why all of these things make sense. And I think, being a human being, we like to know and understand, and
and how can we change, right?
Exactly.
How can we change? And basically, quantum physics says that you can change. You can make the change right down to the atom, right? So, it's great when we have science backing the spirituality and energy and aura and all of that. It's great when we have science backing our beliefs.
And we'll talk about it next week, but
we will.
Dalai Lama, he is a great advocate for the science of spirituality.
Yeah,
he bases all of his work on science. He's a quantum physicist. So there you go.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna pull some cards.
All right,
Michelle, I'd like to think you're still there. We're gonna pull a card for you because that was great by just reminding me that I didn't say the date for the workshop. So we would like to give you a card. Sam, what card did you pull for Michelle? Perception. Projection. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, talk about, yes. Okay, Michelle, if you're still there. So can you just read the top of that one, because I can't remember what the angels say about that one.
I love the angels. I love how they work. Oh my goodness. Archangel Jeremiah's message: my child, when, due to past experiences, you perceive others or a partner to act, feel, and express in a certain way, your perception can hold them in a stagnant position because you keep them from changing your own perception. This is like always seeing the shape of a box and never allowing the shape to change to a circle.
I wonder how come that message came through. That was channeled, and I just, see all these. That is beautiful. So just reminding you, Michelle, it's being open that things can change. That means even people can change. Your experiences can change. What's the crystal on that one, Sam?
It's calcite.
Calcite. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. And the affirmation?
The affirmation: I allow my perception to change by owning my cause and perceiving through a filter lens of positive experience. Well,
that card just sums up everything we've been talking about.
I know, they're clever, aren't they?
Those angels are a little clever. So thank you, Michelle, for that. I'm going to pull a card for Britain in Port Angeles. Okay, let's see what the angels would like to know for Britain. So Britain received the self-love and respect card. And I get for Britain, the reason this card, we're talking perception is projection and, thoughts. And I get this card, your angel team is asking you to be a little easier on yourself, and to be aware of when you are creating self-doubt or negative self-talk. It's because it says respects. I really get it's about self. So self-love and respect, it's that focusing on, what are your beliefs about yourself? What beliefs get in the way of your self-respect? That's what I'm hearing from the team, to really acknowledge and really put out to the world that the positives about yourself. The question or the message is from Archangel Jophiel: my child, accept yourself as one with divine love. See and feel your being as we see you. We see you as divine perfection with no limitations. Only you choose to allow ego to override divine perfection. It's rose quartz, and the affirmation is: I am open to receive divine love and hold it within. I allow my light to shine bright for all to see. Now, I do get, Britton, that you do allow to you share love easily. This is more about your own self-love and self-respect. And I think it really comes down to self-doubt and what do you say to yourself? Is it positive or negative? Because I'm being told by your angels that you share love easily. So it's more about self-love and respect. So thank you, Britton, for receiving the message. Is there anything you get, Sam, that you want to add to that?
Well, I drew a card at the same time, and I got the Own Your Responsibility card.
Okay.
When I was looking at this, I was just reading through it as you were speaking, and the message from the crystal celestite is: I work with you to accept a communication from yourself of innermost knowing and truth. So it certainly resonates with exactly as you said. I help you accept responsibility and ownership for the role you play in being at cause in all relationships. And that is including that relationship with yourself. And there is a little bit here about, stopping to search for understanding through a filter of blame, judgment, excuses, self-pity, resentment. So changing that perception.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. Share love easily, but making sure that also love self.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Amy from Kamloops. Would you like to pull a card from Amy from Kamloops? And then I'll do the same. So Amy, you're going to get 2 cards.
Ooh. Okay, that one jumped out. You've got the Yes card. Beautiful. Amy, you are on track to creating all you desire within a love relationship. Continue to be affirmative and clear with us, the divine, to keep you on your path of harmony and love. Yes is the answer to your question. And then the message, and it's our beautiful citrine. All right. I love the manifestation stone, right? So it's amazing how this one's come out. But I help to manifest a love vibrational experience by putting into action the creative abilities that will form all you desire. And I assist you to be ready to accept and receive more love than you can ever imagine.
Beautiful.
A snap.
Yeah. That's a beautiful card, Amy. I pulled another card. So Sam is using the relationship inspiration deck, and I'm using the Inspire and Change healing deck, both created by myself and my cousin Jennifer. So, and Amy has both decks, because I know Amy has both decks, but you got the card Stay Out of the Past. Okay. And that, Amy, you're giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about why the present is so important when it comes to perception as projection. And the reason that is that when we tend to fall back into a past experience, we bring it into the now vibration, and that's what we're projecting outside of us. So it comes back into the quantum field. So that's why the angels are always stay in the now. No bringing the past into the now, because that messes with your vibration. It messes with what you're projecting. And so again, everyone that's listening, this is a great card that has come up for Amy, because it reminds us that if the angels are saying stay out of the past, and it again, you can cancel, clear, delete. When you know you've dropped into a past thought, a past emotion, a past event that's brought up a lot of stuff, cancel, clear, delete, get rid of it. I mean, we have a lot of angel techniques that we can change energy up, but this is really a lot of stay out of the past. So that's just a reminder to you, Amy. Be aware when you do drop into past events, because that definitely changes your quantum field and what you're projecting outside of yourself. So thank you, Amy, for joining us. Sam, I know my mom is watching tonight. We have a caller, but once I know my mom's watching, we'll put the caller through. Otherwise, Susan from Saskatchewan. Great. Let's put Susan through. And then if we got time, I'd love you to pull a card from my mom, because I know she's watching.
Sounds
okay.
Good.
Susan, if you can hear us, you're on the line with Cindy and Sam.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, absolutely. Would you like us to pull a card, or do you have a question?
Hi, gee whiz, hi there. So I'm on a delay.
Oh, are you? Okay. Can we pull a card for you?
Is this better? Is this better? I'm sorry.
That's okay. We can hear you all right. Don't worry about it.
We can hear you. You might be getting the delay with us, but we can hear you.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead here.
Okay, Susan. I pulled a card for you.
Okay.
Right.
Well, actually, I have a twofold question. I see you laughing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I have upcoming back surgery. I'm trying to be positive about the back surgery. I also have a son that transitioned last year at the age of 26. So, okay, I'll go ahead. I don't know how this is working. I'm sorry. But I guess my question is, as far as the energy and my son that transitioned, he has put objects in my path. And I just wonder if that works, because I am trying to manifest this and communicate with him, because we communicate in many beautiful ways.
So did you say that he's putting, you're kind of going in and out. Lydia, can you hear better than we can?
I'm hearing the same thing that you can.
Okay. So did you say that your son that's transitioned is putting messages in your path or obstacles in your path?
Well, obstacles. From the time that he transitioned, a few days later, he took a chain of his that I was holding in my hand all the time. He took it away, and it was never to be found. And he has put objects in my path, like actual objects. And I couldn't make this up, but
no.
I wonder how difficult this is from an energy, wavelength perspective of because I talk and pray to him all the time, and I know he's around, how difficult is it for all this to happen with, quantum energy, and because he's transitioned?
That's a great question. So, Susan, my belief is it depends on, I call it the veil. Okay. So when we think energetically, he's obviously figured out how to step through the veil easier. Some spirits have a difficult time, but if he was doing, those the objects and things that were appearing so close to his crossing, then he's really energetically stepping through the veil easier. But here's why it's easier for him. I'm being told this. The reason it's easier for him, it's because what you're projecting. So you're putting in your quantum field to open to communicate to him. Yes, you've been experiencing grief, but your grief isn't stopping him from stepping through the veil. So that's how the quantum physics comes into play. It's because of your belief. It's what you're projecting. Mm-hmm. So you're making it easier for him to step through the veil easier. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, totally. Since he passed, and I was spiritual before that, but as soon as he transitions, so to speak, without getting all graphic and everything, I did find him shortly after he passed on, and I just felt he was right there. It was a very unusual, the way that I reacted and the way that I felt after. And, of course, it's been very challenging at times, but I just, feel so blessed and grateful and peaceful most of the time because we have been able to communicate so much. But, I would never have been able to get through this if I hadn't delved in immediately to just confirm, my beliefs and what was happening. And of course, when the chain went missing after I went to the other room, but you think to yourself, did I just mistakenly do something because I'm grieving? And, you doubt yourself. But
right.
Basically, from here on in for the rest of my life, this is just my journey day to day is, of course, dealing with real life, but really working on my meditation, connection, whether it's manifestation, however it's put. But, it's just opened up a whole new world for me. And I have every reason to, live a long, full life from here on. I'm already 61, but, I've got a 2-year-old granddaughter and I'm just so fortunate that I get it now. I have been through so much through my life, but I realize that, I'm probably one of those old souls. And I'm sure my son was a really, really old soul. So I don't know if this makes sense to you, but I'm loving all this.
I really appreciate you called in because, in my world, everything happens for a reason. And you definitely reminded me how the quantum physics and the quantum field works when we are communicating to the other side. Mm-hmm. Because if somebody doesn't believe that it's possible, it won't be possible because that's what they project. So your openness, like truly, Susan, your openness to receive from him made it much easier for him to step through the veil easier. So, my hands up to you for trusting and sharing your experience with us. Thank you so much for doing that. Sam, did you have a card that Sam, I think, pulled a card for you also, Susan?
Okay. I pulled a card for you, and I must admit, as I was listening to the conversation between yourself and Cindy, I was thinking, this is out in left field. This doesn't make any sense, but it totally does. I pulled the card maintaining your chakra centers. All right. And the first, as I say, I was a little bit, but then one of the things it said here was maintaining your centers increases your mental, emotional, and spiritual clarity, as well as your health and vitality. So it really, as you were talking, it made total sense. This is wanting you and reminding you to keep yourself balanced so that you can continue the path that is open for you with regards to being able to communicate with, being open to receiving any of those signs. And it's also the stone, the crystal here is selenite. And of course, selenite has a very high vibration of being in balance and being energized. And it's a stone that never needs clearing, as that is its job. And it's always clearing energy. So it's very much, use that selenite to clear any energy and work with it to maintain your energy centers. All right.
Wonderful.
Another card to back up what you're already doing, Susan. So thank you so much. Thank you for, I really thank you for sharing your story. And that was such a great question to ask, because that truly does line up with the quantum field and how it works. So that is so great that you put the 2 and 2 together. I love that. And I really appreciate you calling in and asking. I've never been asked that question before. And so I really appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate it, Susan. So thank you for thank you for being vulnerable.
Well, you're very welcome. And I just want to add one more thing quickly, and that is that, my son was 26 when he passed. Now, my other son is older. He's 30, and he is having such a difficult time. And, no matter how much I try, because I can't say too much with him, he doesn't believe in all this, me going to a medium and all this stuff. But,
right.
He does believe there's more after life. But, I cannot invoke in him, right? Because he has to be open. And
right.
I just,
I'll just close there because we've only got 2 minutes left of the show, Susan. Then be aware of what you project. Just project that he can be open and then allow him to change. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you
point.
so much so much for calling in. Okay. Lydia.
Oh yeah. Thank you. And I look forward to a workshop. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. So thank you, Lydia, once again for being our producer and making this show happen and taking the calls for us. And thanks again, Sam. We look forward to, so everyone remember, next Monday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we will be doing again the power of thought, quantum physics, and really manifesting healing with your physical being and healing with emotional and spiritual also. But we will be focused on healing next week. And so again, my website, cindysmithaep.com. You can book sessions. That's where our training, if you hit the training button on that website, just go down and you'll see Seeking Your Truth workshop that Sam and I will be hosting. Register as soon as you can, because we only take a minimum amount of students because it's in depth that we want to dive into. So get yourself booked. Thank you, Sam. This was great. We will be back next Monday. Thank you, everyone, for joining the Angel Empowerment Show.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Angel Empowerment Show, from I Can't to I Can, with your host, Cindy Smith, and co-host. Learn to empower you with angelic guidance every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. It's easy to tap into your divine self and trust in your angelic guidance. Let Cindy and co-hosts give you a loving push to explore your potential. For more information, go to CindySmithAEP.com. That's CindySmithAEP.com.